Good evening, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David Okon. I am talking about universal credit money in the UK given to the people of the United Kingdom who need help with the support they need and to do to be in a situation where you will need help from the United Kingdom. You will need to have a problem of income, and also which is related to government policy and politics, and also the system of the economy. If you watch this video, watch with the rest of the video which I have been recording about the topic, and for you to understand what I'm talking about. This is actually a continuation. So today we're trying to provide a viewpoint continuing from where we left previously. Thank you so much for watching my video, and also for sharing with family and friends, clicking the notification bell, and also leaving comment below, talking with the fans on topics of variety has been the hallmark of this project. And going forward, I will be mixing up things a little bit, and from time to time I'll be trying different things, because there's something in language called monotony. You're doing one thing for too long, become actually repetitive. So in terms of videoing and also presentation, I will be testing new approaches, but the core information will always remain. The basis of this program so far is going to be about the cost of living crisis, which people have been interested, and also it involves a lot of learning, accessing information, understanding politics, and how society operates in terms of development, culture, and progress. And the basis primarily exists in terms of the law, but also in terms of morality, also known as the cultural economy. I've been talking about this, and I'll be doing a lot more work going forward. Thank you so much, the YouTube facility and the platform for providing me this opportunity. And leave a comment below what you think about this approach, about this topic. Let me know if you want something more or less. A lot of people actually travel around the world, and a lot of people travel within their locality, trying to produce a way of life within their local areas. I've been trying to test that approach, and going forward I will continue to do that. The weather in the United Kingdom is improving, needless to say. Today has been very warm, rather yesterday, and today perhaps later on I'll be going out to take the environment. There are a lot of parks, but also towns and cities in the UK. One or the other, I will be doing one or two things this weekend. Leave a comment below and let me know how you're doing, how life is taking you where you are. I thank you very, very much. And so, coming back to this topic of money, named by the government within policy and processes as universal credit. This is what I've been talking about. I'll be talking about it in slightly different ways, like I said. The process of accessing this benefit is complex, like anything legal and policy. It's quite complex, but quite engaging. What I would say to people is within this program, the value also thereat is that it is really important for people to take responsibilities for their lives, whether you're in the developed world or developing world. Because you see, this program actually, the primary intention of talking about this, because money determines everything in our lives, and how the government treat money, the government or every country, how it treats money is extremely important. That's why I feel talking about money is quite important, because this is an aspect of income, and if you explore the pattern, also structure of this information, you can actually replicate it across maybe financing generally, but also in terms of the economic or actually business, is in doing practical business and generating money from business, especially if you are a YouTuber and you are being monetized. Your status changes from being just a YouTuber, a blogger, to managing the project as if it is a business, and you become some kind of like entrepreneur with the YouTubing per se. You can also venture to do other projects, and this is an experience for every content creator and also for users. YouTube is growing every day. Billions of people actually, billions of people use YouTube every month, and that has a lot of potential. It's very challenging, but it is an opportunity. It is there primarily also for personal development, and every YouTuber will actually remind you how the responsibilities and also the opportunities, so to speak, of YouTubing, how it actually develop people into better operators, performers, and also interacting with people, learning about how life is. Life is for living, and also for living as in a day-to-day, and also living inheritance. That's why money is important. That's why I'm talking about this topic. Leave a comment below, let me know. And for those who haven't subscribed before, who are new, subscribe to this channel and watch the videos if you can. If you cannot, share with family and friends, and also maybe with strangers. Leave a comment, click notification bell, and click like. These are some of the things you can do. Subscribing is free, you don't pay for it, and also you don't have to put your personal details, which is security, cyber security related, and that is nothing to fear. You can do it if you want to do it. Our content creators, it is a wonderful family, and we do a lot of work, and we do different types of work, and it's a case of beginning, trying to appreciate what goes on social media. Social media is a direction of travel for society, whether YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. All the social media, actually big organizations are now joining social media, because that is actually the future of direction, including money and digital currency. I've spoken about technology. Watch this video and also watch the rest of the video, which I've actually been recording. Now I'm using a voice recorder and producing a template to mix things up a bit and provide a bit of flexibility in working. And leave a comment below how you think about this. We are work in progress. Thank you so much. And let us finally look at the money, because I've been talking about this money for a long time. So sometimes I have to put a proper context into, or even logic in what I'm trying to do. And you comment below, let me know what you're thinking. So in trying to claim money, like in many things, everything in life, if you want it, you claim it. If you're entitled to something, you claim it. If you watch the video, I've explained that to get this money, one of the first thing you do is actually to check if you are eligible. I explained this in the rest of the video, but I will be explaining them again, because the traffic on YouTube is quite fast. And if you are a dedicated watcher of my video, some of the information will be repetitive, in the sense that there are information which are actually key. I'll be repeating them because other people would have missed the other videos, and the chances are they're not going to watch the other videos. So for people, it's a bit frustrating for people who watch me every day, because every day they kind of like more or less listen to the same thing. But I'm doing that because of the nature of the platform we're working with. And some of this information actually cut across the whole economy of knowledge, of policy, politics, economy, technology, and all these other things. The principle in the process of explaining what I explain is to let people know that if you live in a space, in a country, you have to understand your situation, where you're living, what the problems are, problem of food, energy, money, work. I've said it over and again, the primary basis of our income is actually work. Work can be employee, work as employee or self-employed. In the UK, the primary problem for me is actually the level of pay when you're working. The other aspect of income is benefit, which is what I'm talking about, money given when people are not working, when they are sick, when the woman is pregnant, or somebody is mentally ill, or somebody has died. These are all money given in the United Kingdom to complement what employment does not give, to actually support condition where people actually living below a certain threshold. And also there is system of housing which the government also give to people. The manner of their giving, I'll speak about housing going forward, but after, because the benefit system is core in terms of income, and a lot of people get benefit but they don't know it is benefit. So you ask them abruptly, they were going to say, I don't get benefit, but you're getting child benefit, you're getting sickness benefit. Sometimes you get benefit from your employer if you work full-time or part-time, and there's something called tax credit. Tax credit is paid by employers, but it is supported by the government. It's a form of benefit which is actually backed by the government policy, and support for small and medium businesses, also build the economy for big corporations. So one way or the other, including pension if you are now retirement age, and if you are, I said, if you are pregnant, you do statutory maternity pay, and also some other elements. When you are actually pregnant, you get some benefit from the government, some of the benefit you get from your employer, and benefits like money for child care. All these, there are so many, and you only have to realize that 50% of your income actually comes from state benefit, which is either given directly, or given through employers, or given through energy companies or water companies, and or from the local authorities if you need to supplement something called council tax. And you may not be getting council tax reduction, but normally if you don't get council tax reduction, which is also a form of benefit on to support on council tax, if you get that and you're struggling with debt on council tax, because with council tax in the UK, if you don't pay council tax, you potentially could go to prison, which is a very serious matter. And also rent, if you're in arrears with rent, you could lose your property. And the same with energy, gas and electricity. If you don't pay these bills, your service may be disconnected. The only thing not disconnectable in the United Kingdom is water supply. If you don't pay for your water in the UK, the government policy will protect your water supply, but you can be taken into court to recover the debt, and also money can be taken from your employer, from your salary, or from your benefit. These are policies with regard to water, but the risk will not involve your services being disconnected. So if you're in debt, it's a non-priority debt, but it is a very important debt. and things like credit card and all the other debt. You borrow money from family or friends or from your employer. These are non-priority debt, but they could be priority debt depending what value you put on the debt. So the idea of debt relate to income, because what you get and what is taken away, or what you spend or what you hold, all these are actually, if put together, will inform something called financial capability. Also will also inform the area of income, which relate directly or indirectly to the cost of living crisis. I've been talking about this, and let us go back to this process, talking about how to claim universal credit, specifically claiming sickness element of universal credit, which is a new form of benefit replacing legacy benefit. I have been repeating this point here, and watch this video with the rest of the video if you can. Thank you so much. Continue watching. Now let us continue with this process. There is something called mobility. When you are trying to look at how to claim sickness element of universal credit called mobility, it involves how you move, whether you are standing, whether you are sitting. So it is important to tell the Department of Work and Pension more by explaining your situation in a certain box. You can't see the box, but if you visit the Department of Work and Pension, if you visit the website of gov.uk, of UK government, and visit the area of benefit, then you will discover where all the information is. And if you watch this video and the rest of the video, I've actually suggested other websites, and so you should explain things like if it is difficult for you to change from standing up and to sitting down, or from sitting to standing, and what makes it difficult for you. And all these are specifics. This, believe it or not, is something. The reason I'm actually going through this to kind of like give you a picture of what goes on, because if you need benefit, or somebody else needs benefit, or if you are now working and you don't need benefit, in case you fall sick, you might need benefit, because universal credit is similar to a benefit called personal independence payment. Universal credit is actually means tested, which means if you work and earn a certain level, you don't get it. And if you have saving or investment in excess of £16,000, you don't get it. But if you get less, maybe 15,000 in your saving, and you work maybe 16 hours a week, you get universal credit, including the sickness element if you are sick. But if you are not sick, you get something called standard allowance with personal independence payment. This is related to people of working age. If you are actually retiring, you get maybe attendance allowance. What I would say, attendance allowance, I would need to check. I think attendance allowance is attendance allowance and disability living allowance for children if they are sick are also non-means tested. It means even if they have money or not, they still get it. Universal credit is related to work, and universal credit for if you are elderly and you're sick, and I need to check this information for the elderly to provide an equivalence of sickness element. Probably they will still get the sickness element of universal credit. I will check if I get to that point. Right now, let us look for universal credit, which is relating to people who are of working age. It's not given to children. Children are given attendance allowance, and the elderly don't get universal credit. They get the elderly get attendance allowance, but children get disability living allowance. So these are actually the different types of money given to the people of Britain. Thank you for watching. Continue watching. Thank you. I'm going to cut it. So thank you very much. Welcome back. Continue watching. We're talking about how to claim sickness benefit in the United Kingdom. If you're in Europe, in America, if you're in Africa, pay attention to what happens in the United Kingdom, because I said it here, I said it previously elsewhere. What happened in the UK happened in the rest of the world because of globalization, because of the global politics. It comes with policy, it comes with the territory, with policy of across the globe. And if you are in a country, say in Africa, you will have discovered something called privatization. Everything is private, even schools, hospital. More often in Africa, especially, you find that government hospital is always disrupted. Either the hospitals are on strike, and you have to go to private clinic if you have malaria, if you have a certain problem. This is because of globalization, because of capitalism, because of privatization, and people are hustling. The word hustling is very common in Africa, because you have to go to the market and sell things, and sometimes you have to do some other stuff, sell whatever you can sell. And that is how what market means. I mean, you get a product and you get customers, you build relationship. If you are a farmer, you sell meat, or you sell crop, vegetables, milk, whatever you sell. So you need to be creative, you have to be responsible, and it is the same. It's a global agenda. It is capitalism in terms of politics, but also in terms of the economy, in terms of the financial system. You got trading infrastructure, especially foreign trade, and you got also in the middle of all this, you got war, which is a product of cultural failure. As I say, people fight, siblings fight, brothers and sisters are fighting, sisters and sisters fighting, brothers and brothers are fighting. Small fights, small arguments in the house, a wife and husband are arguing, small in a small scale, but warfares are taken to a national level, to an international level, like you see in Sudan, you see in Africa, Iran and Israel, Hamas and Israel, Ukraine and Russia. This is evidence of cultural failure. And war must stop. Poverty must stop. The UK government must get the British people out of poverty. So America, should America, so should Europe, the European Union, Asia and Africa. We live in a world of a lot of wealth for those who have a lot of wealth, and it is wrong without more that a single person, even in Africa, should be in poverty. Poverty means you struggle to access food, medicine, taking your children to school, or even accessing clothing, shoes, what you wear on your body, shop. This little thing, if you have to struggle to get it, and including housing, and including access to transport sometimes, if you have to kind of like struggle even to get something called border in Africa, in Asia, in Russia, in the United Kingdom. If you start to get this basic necessity, then know that you are more likely than not to be classed as being poor, and that is the fault of the state in that country. We have a political leader like a member of parliament, an MP. If you have a tradition or an opportunity to access them, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but if people are actually united as communities, whether in Africa, in family, in villages, in communities generally, if they are united, they begin to talk politics. If you're a child, if you're an adult, begin to discuss politics, understand money, understand policy, the issue of environment, understand the issue of technology. Technology is extremely important because as technology develops, less and less work is going to be available to the human workforce are going to be replaced by a machine workforce, and it is the pace of technological progress development is actually very fast. So within the next 10, 50, 100 years, the next generation might not be working. That means one way or the other, either these technologies should develop enough to more and more produce goods and services for less and less cost. So the cost of living should generally, because of technology and investment in these fields, should go down, not up. But because of violence, because of war, because people do not want to live peacefully, technology can be weaponized to even produce more problems. This is for the future, but the signs are beginning now. If you are struggling, you need to understand it, because knowledge is power, which is why I'm developing this platform. And leave a comment below, subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed. Leave a comment, let me know what you're thinking, and if you have subscribed, thank you so much. And share with family and friends. Click notification bell and click like. Subscription is free, and this is how it goes. And it is a community. If you think about things like think generally the digitization of society, this is what social media as a whole represents. It is a new thing. It's exciting. For content creators, it's challenging because it costs a lot of money to produce to produce video. But the most important thing, if you are a creator and you are watching this, do not, if you start producing video, do not give up, because you learn every day. The information you get, the interaction you make, the dynamism, the networking, the skill you produce can be transferable. You can walk away from YouTubing after 2 or 3 or 4 years. The skill you have, you can actually implement it somewhere, but it is futile to walk away from a digital platform, because society is moving from what something called analog production or productiveness or productivity, whatever you want to call it, or whatever platform that might have been. Like when you go physically into the market, in the future you're going to go digital. The currency is going to be digital. There's something called cryptocurrency. Do a study of cryptocurrency, which is a growth area, just like any aspect of digital economy. And artificial intelligence, do a study on artificial intelligence. There is so much to talk about if you are actually a YouTuber. And it's a case of really doing a research and doing a bit of sacrifice. And then you can maybe learn to do other things which people like, because there are certain things which are very popular with viewers, because people like entertainment. And a lot of the time, if you are kind of like talking a fairly policy, fairly maybe how to learn educational things, sometimes people might like it, they may not like it, but information, a lot of people may be interested. And if you want to build your own house, if you want to build your own car, there is information on social media, on YouTube. YouTube is actually the way to go, the way forward. But if you are a YouTuber, do your best to develop, to grow, because things are changing very quickly, even within the YouTuber. The bigger you are, the better. The corporatization is actually coming onto in the digitized estate, and that is what's happening with YouTube. If you grow, if you are bigger, you are more competitive. That is the nature of the market system. If the smaller you are, the more vulnerable, the more outcompeted you are going to come. We compete for the same kind of customers. It's a way of commerce. It's a way of business. It's a way of capitalism. It relates to the cost of living crisis, which is a topic I have chosen to base my my discussion on. Is like as a fingerprinting of my platform from which to speak about the economy, politics, environment, and also opportunities as they may present themselves, every threat, and all these aspects of society, the law, the how the law operates, the nature of the law. I'm talking about money. I'm talking from the legal point of view here, and how the law is affecting benefit as people get benefit. And I was talking about benefit relating to sickness. And as always, I promise, before I promise again, that I will be talking about the specific, and I will also be examining the broad, because we are talking about human life. We are talking about basic information. We are also talking about how this information relate to the life of individuals, of groups, of families, of children. Why it actually explains the prevalence of poverty in the world, and why poverty is a very dangerous thing. Is the same as carrying a gun or a knife and going to war. uh, there is something called economic war, which is actually manifested in terms of how poor or rich people are. If you go to places like Soweto, I've never been to South Africa. You go to most part of Africa, in the area which are run down, they are called slums. I don't know. There are suburban areas which are actually containing extremely poor people. You see the evil of poverty, and this is actually the equivalent of warfare. It's like you're at war, economic war, social warfare, and humanity is actually a very complex concept. I am interested to talk about people in terms of wealth, in terms of health, in terms of valuation, how you value your life, how you value other person's life. Once you start valuing your life and valuing other people's life, you do this by changing the way you think. If you think war, you think disrespect. If you think nasty, you become all those things. That is a sign of hope, because you can also choose to think respect, to think being nice, to think work hard with your hand other than being a thief, and be a maker of peace other than war. Be the last person to start a fight, shooting people with guns and stabbing people with knives. This is a cultural failure. So I've been talking consistently about cultural economy, which is what our lives, the meaning of our lives, as we live today or as we live in the future, depend on how we value humanity. I have said some really complicated things in this process, including the idea of how humanity can use knowledge, especially technology, even to, because research is now being done by technicians, by researchers, to slow down aging, or even stop aging, or even to reverse aging. So, you see, you put more meaning, even to actually bring people who have died back. There's a prospect, because we are data. I mean, all this information are available. If you look and look and look, you begin to read about it, you begin to listen to maybe radio stations or maybe television, These information are there. We live in the age of information. If you are a child, if you are an adult, if you are elderly, you have a responsibility to learn and learn and learn and play and play and play. If there is time to play, you play. If there is time to work, you work like you don't need the money. If you are dancing, dance as if you are not being seen. If you are talking on the street and you are a YouTuber, talk as if nobody is looking. Some people are dancers, some people are actually singers. So whatever talent you got, whatever you want to do it. And if you are done with work, take time off, go and visit friends. If you drink, have a drink. It doesn't matter what you drink. You drink water, you drink alcohol, it's your business. Just whatever you do with wisdom, do with moderately. Life is the only thing we have. Value it. You are special. You are number one. You are the best. You are the only one. There are 8 billion people on the earth. You are the only one. And no one anywhere in the world is like you. And today, my attitude is really to talk about life and human life. Life of a human being is the center of everything. Everything we do is relevant because we have children, we have parents, we have brothers and sisters, family, and our communities, the human family, the love we have for one another. And this is actually the strength of our existence. You may build houses, you may buy a new car, you may do whatever you want to do, but if by any chance we as a species don't achieve immortality, we are not going to die. And aging is the number one killer of a human being. And aging, a group of dedicated scientists now doing research to figure out how to slow down the work. Actual work is being done now to slow down aging, and also to probably stop aging altogether or reverse aging. If aging is stopped, it means we are not going to die by aging. That means maybe 90% of the population will not die. We will achieve immortality after a point. And then there's also something called regeneration. If somebody chops off your head, it's going to grow up in seconds. These are actually realities. They are fiction now. They are not facts, but they are realities. And there are groups of experts who are working on it. I believe it or not, the regeneration is happening in nature. If you look at some lizards, even snakes, if you cut off snakes, the head of a snake, it is going to grow back and be alive. It is a reality in nature. Regeneration is real. If we can regenerate, if somebody shoots you, you are not going to die. If the medicine is there, if you are already vaccinated, your your flesh will grow back within minutes or even seconds. Depend, especially with nanotechnology. Certain materials can be created with nanotechnology to treat even DNA, to treat your cells. I mean, you can get heart surgery without even knowing you're being operated. That's actually the prospect coming with nanotechnology. If we get medical technology with nanotechnology, and you sit and you have cancer, you're going to send medicine. You don't even see the medicine because they are so tiny, they are so little. You see it, and it's going to be the medicine is going to be released into the air, and it's going to come into your home and enter you and treat your cell individually. This is real. This is not fiction. It is a scientific fact. It is not yet happening. Scientists are working on it. So there is hope. This is the whole point I am actually talking about humanity. There is hope. And mortality has been so frustrating. People are in a rush because you only live 100 years and you die. Everything you have worked for is meaningless. What are you going to do with the houses you have built? With the children you have had, you are not going to be there to enjoy it. A few more years, you are growing old. So life has been frustrating, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is hope. We have seen it with technology. This platform is about promoting hope, promoting optimism, and that also means we have to deal with reality, the issues now, how prospectively or actual in real time as of now, how to deal with poverty, how to deal with disrespect. These are actually the major functions. Let us get the British people, the Americans, the Africans, in every country, let every government have it as its priority to get the people out of poverty today, not tomorrow. And also, let us change the method of teaching our brains, our attitude. Let us begin to value humanity as a priority. If you are an alien, you are warmly welcome, but have respect for our species. This is our house. We don't want aliens around here. What we want is actually humanity. This is our inheritance. It may sound as a joke, but a very serious topic. Thank you so much for having stayed up to now watching and continue watching. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let us continue watching. Let us ease ourselves back to talking about the specific of this money given by the United Kingdom, the sickness element of universal credit. If you live in the UK, leave a comment below and tell me if you are a sick person. If you need benefit, you can go to Department of Work and Pension in the United Kingdom and ask for benefit. You can, before you can do that, go to gov.uk and read about universal credit. Read about something called limited capability for work-related activity. So, how the Department of Work and Pension give points for question number 2? I will talk about the form, the application form, how the application form is designed to because the application form is a process of claiming benefit. Going forward, I will talk about something called health assessment process, because you do eligibility criteria, benefit checks, and you support yourself, or if you're supporting a family member, or you're preparing to go to meet a professional who is going to advise you on these matters, then you look at these steps one by one. And I'm so privileged that you are here. Subscribe to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, click notification bell, and click like, and also share with family and friends. Share this video with family and friends, and support these facilities as much as you like. And let's talk about this and pay attention to this. If you think you want benefit, if you don't want it, pay more attention, even because someone a friend might need it. There are a lot of people who are very sick who may do well to get some extra money, but they don't understand they could get extra money, so you would be able to do that. But also, out of curiosity, if you have 1 or 2 minutes, you can look at this video, and you can also go online and do a study of the benefit system. It's complex. It's a government policy. So especially if you're a young person, if you're a child, if you can read, if you are 5 or 6 or 7 or 9 or 10, you can actually engage and go online and do a research. Start learning about policy, because we live in a modern world. You're going to inherit the house. I just talk about aging. And aging, we are working on it as a society. We talk about regeneration. There is something called there's something called teleportation. Teleportation means you get into a capsule and disappear and reappear within seconds. Maybe if you're in Europe, you get into a capsule. This is a means of travel, the future. I think it is related to nanotechnology and artificial intelligence. Leave a comment below if you know anything about teleportation. It's still in science fiction today. It's still operating in science fiction today. So if you know anything about it, leave a comment below. There was one topic I haven't read about. Teleportation is so important because you disintegrate and reintegrate. It means you die and come back to life, which is really cool. Within seconds, if you see Star Trek, for example, you beam yourself from one location to another. If you see what you call time travel, or whatever you call it, you get into a portal, you kind of like teleport it within seconds. Yeah, these are some of the things. I mean, there is hope where there is people, because we are humans. The earth is our inheritance. So we build estates like the economic system, like the political system to run our life. But we need peace. Peace has to do with money, income, but it has to also do with respect and valuing your life, and valuing money, valuing wealth, valuing knowledge, but humanity first. I promise to repeat this point over and over and over. Let's go back to looking at benefit. So how the Department of Work, the DWP, the Department of Work and Pension, gives points for question number 2. Now, question number 2, this is what question number 2 on the form relate to. Department of Work and Pension will check which of these descriptors matches your answer, because the Department of Work and Pension asks you question on the form, and this question actually relate to the criteria they are looking for. It's called descriptors, which means they kind of break the question down for you, and in the process of actually responding, you describe your condition. We'll talk about the mobility aspect of the question, of the logic of the form. So these actually are checkable. If you answer questions, the Department of Work and Pension will look at the form. They will check if the descriptors you're provided matches your answer. The descriptors they provide will prompt you to answer questions. These questions actually interrelate with the descriptors, which if whatever the Department of Work and Pension asks you, you respond and to these descriptors, and your answer, if they match, then you get a certain point. If you meet the descriptor 2A, you will get limited capability for work-related activity. So descriptor 2A will provide you with limited capability for work-related activity, which means you are very sick. And as the Department of Work and Pension will assess, because they look at the descriptor 2A, and there, if you meet this descriptor, if you meet descriptor 2A within the mobility questioning requirements, you will get a limited capability for work in that element. And that is how they had the point, because this is a point system. I'm continuing with where I left the other day, because the other day I was also talking about the same thing, but because I want to take you through the information, and so that I explain these things to you. And leave a comment below. Knowledge is power. Leave a comment for work means you are very sick, means you get more money. Simple as that. I have said it before. I'm merely repeating so that people don't miss it. If you meet one of the other descriptors, the Department of Work and Pension will add up your points from the whole form to decide if you can get limited capability for work. The difference between limited capability for work and limited capability for work-related activity means you more qualified with limited capability for work-related activity, because you are not required to look for work because you have limited capability for work. And also, if you have limited capability for work-related activity as well, there are two elements: limited capability for work, and limited capability for work-related activity. Work-related activity means things like preparing for work, training, maybe doing a job interview, maybe doing certain activities which are actually related to work. That's why it's called work-related activity. So if you are not required to look for work or to do work-related activity, then you get a limited capability for work-related activity. It means you get more money, you are sicker. And if you are less sick, you get limited capability for work. And this is how I've been explaining. So you look, for example, descriptors to A. You cannot move between one seated position and another seated position located next to one another without receiving physical assistance from another person. So, and if you can move, if you are not able to move between one seat, if you are sitting in a position and you cannot move from that position, and if you want to move to another position, and if it is actually the position you want to move to is located to where you are sitting, so and another seated position located next to one another, if the seats are actually close to one another, and you are moving from one seat to another and they are very near, and you if you cannot without receiving physical assistance from another person, if you cannot get if somebody cannot physically actually assist you, I mean, if you cannot move unless somebody assists you physically, if you cannot move unless somebody assists you physically, within a very short distance, as between two seated seating facilities. If this is the situation, then you get 15 points. And also, if you cannot move for the majority of time, if you cannot for the majority of time remain at a workstation. So if you're working on a computer and you cannot for the majority of the time remain at a workstation, either one standing unassisted by another person, or even if free to move around, and if you stand and you are unassisted by another person, even if you're free to move around, you might be free to move around, but and you need to be assisted. That's just what it means. You need to be assisted by someone. Somebody has to assist you in order to move. If you're actually at work, that's why we say the workstation. It could be a computer, could be you are working in a warehouse, and if you are standing as a worker, maybe you are in a supermarket or whatever work you do, standing and unassisted by another person, even if free to move around, even if you are free to move around, but you cannot move unless you are assisted by somebody. You cannot move. You cannot stand. You cannot maybe you can move around a little bit, but to stand you cannot do so unless somebody actually assists you, and that is what descriptor 2B is talking about, and you get 9 points there, and that is 9 descriptor 2BA and 2B 11 and 2B descriptor 2B1 and 2 and 3 altogether, I would say. And the option, if you are standing or you are sitting, even if in an adjustable chair, or a combination of A and B, standing or sitting, and standing unassisted, or even if you're free to move around, and if you need to be assisted, sitting down even in an adjustable chair. I mean, like in an office chair, computer chair, for example, or you are if you are in a both situation, standing or sitting, as in sitting on an adjustable chair or a similar chair, and if you need to be assisted, then you are classed as being descriptor in terms of the describability of your condition. You get 9 points for that, and that is something. Leave a comment below what you think about this. This is an application form which somebody who is very sick is supposed to move. Or also, we will say, if you cannot for more than 30 minutes before needing to move away in order to avoid significant discomfort or exhaustion. So we'll talk about 30 minutes of limitation or limited standing or sitting in one way or the other, either sitting or standing or both, which is actually for the duration of time, which is actually more than 30 minutes, and before needing to move away in order to avoid significant discomfort or exhaustion. Like I said in the other information, sickness benefit, look at how your medical condition actually affects you other than the medical condition itself. This is fairly complicated, and just leave a comment below, let me know. Let's look at number C. If you cannot for the majority of time remain at a workstation, either standing unassisted by another person, even if free to move around, or sitting even in an adjustable chair, or a combination of one and two for more than an hour before needing to move away in order to avoid significant discomfort or exhaustion. Merely the time, the difference between B and C is that you can stand or sit, or a combination of standing or sitting, wherever you sit or stand, and if you are needing assistance, and for more than 1 hour before needing to move away in order to avoid significant discomfort or exhaustion, you get 6 points. And this is actually important. It's something people can get familiar with. If none of the above applies, you get 0 points. I am emphasizing the fact that the panel working person using a point system, a lot of people, if you don't answer the question correctly, you end up getting 0 points and you don't get benefit. That's the whole point. What I'm trying to take you through, and that's why sometimes I stop from time to time to discuss these things from you. Let us talk about point number 3. Point number 3 has to do with reaching. Reaching is if you want to maybe stretch to take something when you are sitting or standing, or having perhaps also to move to kind of like take something. This question is about whether you can reach up with either arm above waist height. Say you are bathing, say you want to wear put your clothes on, can your arm reach above your waist? You know where your waist is, but if you are using your hand to do one thing or another, or you're bathing, or you're putting oil on your body, or you want to scratch yourself, and if your hand can reach above your waist height, I mean, it depends how high or low your waist is, but if you have a waist, and every human being have a waist, you have it recorded within certain height, and therefore that is what reaching means. That is point number 3 in the descriptor. Can you lift at least one of your arms high enough as if to put something in the top pocket of a coat or a jacket while you are wearing it? So if you're wearing a coat or a jacket pocket, if you can take something or put something into your jacket, and then this is a question, you answer no, yes, it varies. If you answer no, it means you are sick enough for qualifying. If the answer is yes, it means you, in this case, you are actually doing well in terms of assessment. It varies. It means sometimes you cannot, sometimes you can do it, because health condition fluctuates, and also mobility and reaching out fluctuate. Sometimes it is good, something it is moderate, something is very bad. You need to explain this in the form. When deciding how to answer, it might help to think about how difficult you find it to reach to a pocket, whether you could do it more than once, and what would happen if you try to do it repeatedly, whether reaching to a jacket pocket would cause you pain, how severe that pain is, and how it would affect you. And can you lift one of your arms above your head? If you have a head, and most humans have, if not all of them, if the answer is no, yes, it varies. This is another aspect of the question in terms of reaching, assessing how you are rich in terms of your mobility. And when deciding how to answer it, it might help to think about how difficult you find it, whether it would cause pain, how severe the pain is, and how it would affect you, whether you could do it more than once, and what would happen if you try to do it repeatedly, what to explain in terms of reaching, what to explain about reaching. And this is some of the situation you find when you are answering these questions in terms of claiming the sickness element of universal credit. And I'm just trying to illustrate this, and from time to time I will be stopping to explain it in one way or the other. And you can use the box to explain what happens when you try to raise your arms, and talk about reaching, if you always struggle, or if the way your condition affects you changes. For example, 4 out of 7 days, and how it feels when you try to raise your arm. They want to know the frequency of being very sick, how much you suffer in terms of days, in terms of sometimes hours. We are talking about days, maybe 4 out of 7 days, how it feels when you try to raise your arms, if it causes you pain or discomfort, how severe it is, and how it affects you. If it makes you tired, how severe the tiredness is, and how it affects you. If you need help from someone else for certain things, like washing your hair, how often you need help, and when you need help doing, if you have good days and bad days, and how they differ. What happens if you try to reach up on a bad day, how the Department of Work and Pension give points to question D. These are some of the processes. If you think, watch this video and the rest of the video to make sense what is happening, and this is how responsible you're supposed to be in a world where the government thinks you should take more responsibility for your life. And that's why we are going through this. The Department of Work and Pension will check which of these descriptions matches your answer. If you meet descriptions 3A, you will get limited capability for work-related activity. If you meet one of the other descriptors, the Department of Work and Pension will add up your points from the whole form to decide if you can get limited capability for work. And description 3A, you cannot raise either arm as if to put something in the top or pocket of a coat or jacket, and B, you cannot, this will give you 15 points. And number B, 3B, you cannot raise either arm to top of head as if to put on a hat. You get 9 points if this is your limitation. If C, you cannot raise either arm above head height, and as if to reach for something, you get 6 points as well. Number D, if none of the above apply, you get 0 points. And thank you so much for watching this material. We will continue the next time we meet, and we'll be talking about the specifics, but I will also be talking about life generally, because see, whether we have money, whether we don't, our life matters. Black lives matter, white lives matter, poor life matter, rich life matter, every life matters. So my focus on this program is actually to look to humanity and encourage every individual to value their lives, and also to value the life of their family, friends, and strangers, and also to urge the British government in Britain and also the government in your country, wherever you're watching this, to get you and your people out of poverty once and for all, and change the way to educate family, individual family and community how to value their lives, how to value other people and their property. We'll talk about peace, a combination of getting people out of poverty, and also humans behaving well, avoiding bad behavior, avoiding cruelty, to lift the vastness of the population into poverty. Thank you so much for watching. Continue supporting this program. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you have subscribed, thank you so much. Subscription is free. And share with family and friends, and click the notification bell for when I produce the next video, and also click like. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.
Come on,